Hey, what is up, you guys? BoltClan3117 back here again with another video. This time we're going to be talking about Stephen King's It. And this is going to be my fan casting, so to speak, of the adult versions of the Losers Club. Because as we all know, the movie that is coming out in September for It is only dealing with the Losers Club as kids. So I thought, why the hell not just do a video and see, maybe you guys will agree or disagree with some of my fan casting for the adult versions of the Losers Club. So without further ado, let's get things started. So first I was thinking of Patrick Wilson as Bill Denbrough. And Patrick Wilson, I think, has I think he has the acting chops to be a lead character. And he just kind of gives me off that vibe of a leader. The characters he always plays feels like they're strong and, firm but fair. It seems like he's a very fair and just overall good person, and I can buy him playing an older version of Bill Denbrough. And we know that Bill Denbrough in the novel is supposed to be he grows up to be a very tall man, and I think that Patrick Wilson, I think he looks certainly pretty tall in the films that I've seen him in. I don't know his exact height; I didn't look that up, but he certainly has experience too in horror films. I mean, he was in the Insidious movies, he's been in the Conjuring movies, so I think he can definitely take on this role and just go to town with it. And I like him. I just like him as an actor, and I'd like to see him get a lead role like this as Bill Denbrough. And next we have Attell Ejiofor as Mike Hanlon. And now this, I think, maybe it's just me, but I think he looks like an older version of the kid who's playing Mike Hanlon. I mean, the hairline is similar, the facial features are similar, and he's a very, very talented actor. You can see him in The Martian, he's in Doctor Strange. He's very good, and he's good with dramatic acting. He's good in those type of roles. So I think he'd be perfect for Mike Hanlon, who's more of a more serious character. I think you could say he's the most normal of the group. I mean, he stays in Derry, and he doesn't go on to become some huge success like the other members of the club do. So I think that he could do a very good job in that type of role. Next, we have Amy Adams as Beverly Marsh. And at first, this was a bit hard for me, to find an actor who would play Beverly Marsh. But then I kind of stumbled upon a picture of Amy Adams, and I was like, you know what? Actually, this makes a lot of sense. Not only does she have fit the age mold of where Beverly would be in terms of this new film, what they're doing, but she also has the red hair, obviously. And I think that Amy Adams can play, a strong female character in a seemingly frail body. I mean, like, she certainly doesn't look like someone who could hurt anybody, but she definitely can hold her own and keep herself safe. She can definitely, she doesn't need anyone to take care of her. Beverly Marsh is a strong character, but she doesn't realize it until later in life that she doesn't need to be under another man's thumb. She doesn't need to be behind someone's shadow. So I think that Amy Adams could definitely be a good fit for this role. And next up we have one that I didn't come up with, so I'm not taking credit for it. But Bill Hader, yes, Bill Hader as Richie Tozier. And like I said, not my idea, but I think this one is absolutely perfect. Not only does he have sort of like a same type of hairstyle as Richie Tozier in the new movie in terms of Finn Wolfhard's playing him, but I think he even looks like an older version of Finn Wolfhard. And he can play comedy in his sleep, and that's kind of he can play that comedic side of Richie Tozier. And Bill Hader is certainly perfect. He's great at voices. I mean, he's done so much voiceover work for animated films, and he was even a voice consultant for BB-8 on Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So he can definitely nail the comedic side and the voice acting part of what Richie does, all his different voices. So I think he's perfect for that, and I think he can also do a great job at playing a traumatized guy who hides his fear behind his jokes, because that's who Richie Tozier is. And next up we have Elijah Wood as Eddie Kasprak. Now, I think not only does he fit like the kind of smaller stature of Eddie Kasprak, he's obviously physically the weakest of the group, and just the higher pitched voice like Eddie Kasprak. I think that's kind of who Elijah Wood is in terms of the roles that he takes on. So I think this one almost makes perfect sense for me. And of course, like I was saying, he's maybe physically the weakest of the Losers Club, but certainly not, like mentally in terms of heart. because I think he's the bravest actually of the entire group. I mean, he even pays his own life to save his friends in the final battle with Pennywise. So I think Eddie Kaspbrak. This is personally my favorite character in the group. That's just me, but I think Eddie's just a great character, and I think Elijah Wood could do a good job. Originally, I was thinking of Simon Helberg, who also fits that mold, I think, for Eddie Kaspbrak. And Simon Helberg plays Howard Wolowitz on The Big Bang Theory, so you probably know him as that role. But next up, we have Neil Patrick Harris as Stanley Kubrick, and you might you might think at first like, why? How could they get an actor like him? But yes, I know it may seem crazy, but if you've seen Gone Girl, if you've seen that movie, he can sort of play this isolated, strange, almost robotic like person, and I think that would play perfectly with the scene where Stan gets that call from Mike Hanlon about going back to Derry and then he commits suicide. I think he would nail that scene. He would just play it to the T. I think he would do a very, very, very good job as Stan. And next up, we have Bradley Cooper as Ben Hanscom. Yes, going in coinciding with the star power of who we would want to play the adult versions, because you have to think, look back at the 1990 miniseries. They had big name actors in those roles for the adult versions of the characters. So I think you can do the exact same here and get Bradley Cooper to play Ben Hanscom. Ben Hanscom ends up growing up to be the most, I guess you could say, the best looking character, or the best looking person from the Losers Club. So obviously Bradley Cooper's got the looks for that, and he certainly has the body too, because Ben Hanscom as a child, obviously, obese, cold haystack. He's got like a stout build. He's a big boy, obviously. So when he loses all that weight and grows up, and and gets a lot taller, I think Bradley Cooper certainly got the body for that too, and he has, without a doubt, the acting ability to take on a lead role, because Ben is a very, very important character to the Losers Club. I think you could almost call him the second main character behind Bill. And I guess that's pretty much it for the Losers Club. And I just wanted to add in an extra one, just for the fun of it, which would be Cory Sol as Henry Bowers. And if you saw him in Ant-Man, he can play a menacing, borderline psychotic character who's I think he's pretty intimidating. That might just be me, but again, another person who I think could nail the role of this villainous role as Henry Bowers. And Henry's a secondary antagonist to our beloved Losers Club, so I think he could fit that role perfectly, much like, hopefully the rest of my cast in terms of, fitting their roles and playing it to the T. Anyways, these were just my quick, fan castings for the adult versions of the Losers and, of course, Henry Bowers. What do you guys think? Do you agree with some of them? Do you disagree with some of them? Do you think I'm absolutely crazy, or do you think I nailed it? Let me go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this, because I'm a huge fan of it. The 1990 miniseries, you could say maybe it doesn't hold up as well today, but I still love it. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. And I'm reading the novel right now. I'm not finished with the novel because, if you probably know if you've read it, it's a big book. So I'm not finished with it yet, and I probably won't be anytime soon. But slowly but surely, I'm going to keep reading the book. But yeah, so if you disagree, agree with me, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to have a conversation about this novel or this movie. So yeah, if you guys want more horror videos and more coverage, I'm definitely going to be putting that on my channel from now on. So if you want to stay up to date on other horror movies as well as Stephen King's It, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and maybe you can help me get past 200 subscribers. It's a pretty big deal, and hopefully we can do it. I think we can do it. So yeah, this is BoltClown3117 signing off.